Welcome everyone to this CELPIP Speaking Part 1 Giving Advice Analysis. And now I'm just here in the Speaking Part 1 section of the CELPIP library. And before we get started, I do want to let you know that Speaking Part 1 focuses mainly on CLB 7 or higher. What does that mean? Well, that means that if you need to get CLB 7 or higher, then you should make sure you do really well in this part because it can demonstrate your higher level English knowledge more than other parts. That's because these topics can be a little bit more complicated. Giving advice can be more complicated. And the language they use can be higher, okay? And also because you need to speak for 1.5 minutes. So for that reason, in this part, you can demonstrate higher level English, okay? Now, if you need to get CLB 4, 5, or 6, then this part is not as important as speaking part 2, 3, 4, or 5. And that means that in this part, you don't need to do so well. And getting 4, 5, or 6 in this part can be easier to get. It means you don't need to speak much to get 5, okay? So it's not as important for lower levels than higher levels, okay? Also, I do want to remind you about this Speaking Part 1 Tips and Strategies video. The link is in the description box. And this video will give you more tips and strategies that you can use for Speaking Part 1. How to understand the question, what you can do to prepare, and how you can answer the question. And actually, that video will show you some of the tips and strategies that I will be using in this analysis. Okay? Okay then, let's look at today's volume sample. Volume 10, computer use. Okay. Okay, and this will be a CLB 5-6 sample. Okay? So let's read the question. Your cousin has started working in an office. Okay, great. The job's long hours in front of a computer give him a headache and make him feel tired. Okay. So your cousin works in an office. He works long hours and he works in front of a computer, or he uses a computer, and that gives him a headache and makes him feel tired. Okay. So what do we need to give advice about? Okay. Advise your cousin on how he can avoid, not get, or try not to get headaches. Well, headaches. Drowsiness makes you feel tired when working long hours at a computer. So how can your cousin not get headaches and not feel tired when he's working? Okay. All right then. So let's give advice to our cousin. So let's remember, everyone, for the 5-6 answer, we have to answer the question clearly and directly, exactly the question, okay? We're going to try to organize our ideas. Firstly, secondly, lastly. we're just going to give some general ideas, and then we're going to try to use some good sentence structure, but general or basic, simple, present, future. And we're going to try to use some modals of advice. For example, should. Okay, and we're going to try to use some good fluency, clarity, and intonation. Okay, so then let's start then by introducing the question to our cousin about what we're going to give advice about. Hello, cousin. I want to advise you about how to reduce your headaches and drowsiness from working in front of a computer. Okay, or we can say from working long hours. In front of a computer. Yeah, that's more clearly and directly. Right, it says advise your cousin on how he can avoid headaches and drowsiness when working long hours at a computer. Okay, so we started clearly and directly. Hello, cousin, I want to advise you. I want to advise you. Very good. And don't forget, everyone, I'm using blue for structure, red for main grammar forms or grammar forms, and black for other parts. So what's my first idea, or what's my first piece of advice? Okay, so let's see here. First of all, I think that you should go to the doctor. Okay. Okay, very clear, very direct. So you should go. Should go. It's a good idea for you to go. Should. It's a good idea. So you should go to the doctor. Okay, that's a okay, very good idea. Yeah. Now why? Why? This would be great because the doctor can tell you if you have another problem. Okay, very good. So maybe you're getting headaches and you're feeling very tired. So maybe it's something else. It's very important. Maybe you have some other problem. So that's why you should go to the doctor, because the doctor will tell you if there's another problem, or the doctor can tell you what you can do. So very good idea. Very good idea. Okay. Okay, what's a second idea? Let's see. Second idea. Secondly, I think that you should take breaks from using the computer so much. Okay, so you should take breaks. Should take. It's a good idea to take. Okay. You should take breaks from using the computer so much. Okay, good. Well, what do we mean by take breaks? Okay. For example, you should work a few hours, then take a break. So maybe work a few hours, take a break. So that's a good idea. And why is that important? This is important because you will not get headaches. Okay, so if you take breaks, then you don't get headaches. That's the idea here. Very good. So you see, everyone, we have two really good ideas. This is already very good for level 5, 6. Okay, we're using some good sentence structure. We're giving examples. We explained very good organization and sentence structure right now. Now, again, this is good for 5, 6, but let's give another idea just to practice. Okay. Lastly, I think you should do something to relax. Oh, okay. For example, you can listen to music, go for a walk, or drink some relaxing tea. Okay, very good. Very good. Yes. So you should do something to relax because you're getting headaches, right? So, and getting tired. So you should do something to relax yourself. And then we gave some examples. Listening to music is good to relax. Going for a walk is good to relax. Very good. So you see, everyone, another idea we gave. Now, I think it's very good for you to try to finish by closing. Okay? It's always good. This is good lastly, but you can see here the closing sentence. Look at this closing sentence. Overall, I think the best advice is that you shouldn't work on the computer for so long. Right, you shouldn't work on the computer for so long because it's causing you work stress. So the problem here was working on the computer for so long, right? So this idea is saying that you shouldn't work, shouldn't work on the computer for so long because it's causing you work stress. That's true. Very true. Okay? So you shouldn't work on the computer for so long. That's the best advice. Okay? So then, everyone, look at this answer. Now, this answer is definitely 6 in quality, 6 or higher. We gave we, we gave 3 very good ideas, and like I said, level 5 we don't need to give 3. 2 ideas and explaining more is good, but we gave 3 ideas and we closed, so that's very strong for 6 or higher. As well, we organized. Very good. You see here, first of all, secondly, lastly, overall. This is really good organization. Okay? And then, of course, we gave really good sentence structure using modals of should. The modal should is one that is for higher levels and that we use to say it is a good idea. Okay, lower levels, you say go to the doctor. But higher levels should go to the doctor. Okay? And that is very good. Sentence structure using should, very good sentence or expression of ideas. Okay? So, now again, level 5, 6, we don't need to give so much information. Okay? But we did, so that's why it's higher level. Now, it's not only about the answer quality, it's about speaking this answer with very good flow and intonation. Flow slowly, clearly, continuously. Okay? For flow. And for intonation, we want to make sure that we pronounce things well and we can have a natural or a more native way of expressing the sentence with sentence stress and pitch. Okay? And so I'm going to speak this question now in 1.5 minutes with good flow and intonation, and please follow along. Hello, cousin. I want to advise you about how to reduce your headaches and drowsiness from working in front of a computer. First of all, I think that you should go to the doctor. This would be great because the doctor can tell you if you have another problem. Secondly, I think that you should take breaks from using the computer so much. For example, you should work a few hours, then take a break. This is important because you will not get headaches. Lastly, I think you should do something to relax. For example, you can listen to music, go for a walk, or drink some relaxing tea. Overall, I think the best advice is that you shouldn't work on the computer for so long because it's causing you work stress. Very good, everyone. So you see, I read that well below 1 minute and a half. Of course, that was reading. Okay. And again, everyone, what can we do to practice? Well, the first thing that we can do to practice is practice reading this answer, reading and understanding. We need to read and understand how we organized ideas, okay? It's very important to read and understand that. Secondly, we need to read and understand for how we express the ideas using should and can and if. Should, especially trying to understand how to express ideas using should. It's very important, and how we connected the ideas. Okay? Then, everyone, let's try to read and speak this answer in 1 minute and a half with very good flow and intonation. The more times that you practice reading this answer, the more that you will develop your flow and intonation. Okay? Then, everyone, lastly, can you speak this answer in 1 minute and a half without reading it? Can you do that? Well, the level 6, they can. After reading this answer a few times, they read it, they read and understand, then they can speak this answer without reading from their knowledge, not memory. If you're trying to memorize, it's not going to work because we need to have this knowledge. So, reading and understanding, and reading and speaking, and then speaking without reading, that's will show your knowledge. Okay. So, for that, everyone, I will be leaving a link in the description box to this question. Okay. And you can practice reading and speaking. Also, everyone, let's not forget that many of our samples come with vocabulary building. Vocabulary building is a great exercise. It gives you words, a word list, and then you have to complete the sentence with one of those words. This is really great to help us build vocabulary, okay? And also, many of our examples have grammar building exercises. You have a grammar explanation, for example, should here. And then you have some practice exercises to make you develop your grammar knowledge for this level, okay? Also, everyone, I do want to remind you to subscribe to the CELPIP library. Now, the CELPIP library includes over 60 examples of Speaking Part 1, where you can read and analyze different questions and practice speaking. And so the CELPIP library is a very good resource to practice Speaking Part 1. And right now, if you use the CELPIP discount code, CELPIP79, again, that is a discount code, CELPIP79, you can get a 3-month subscription of CELPIP Library for only $10.99. Okay, that's a very good deal. Again, subscribe to the CELPIP Library. And don't forget, everyone, practice makes perfect.